Hi team, welcome in next video. Okay, so in this video we are going to learn how are we using for post manual development and what are the importance of the postman and how it is better than other API tools. So basically we are going to discuss here about the postman. So what the things we are going to learn in this video. So firstly we are looking like what is the postman, why we use the postman, and how we can download the postman and install postman in our local system. How to use postman to execute the APIs, and sorry, it's a get request. So how to use a get request in a postman, how to use a post request in a postman, how to create a common variable in a postman, and how we can create a collection inside the postman. So basically in this video we are going to cover in this like 8 topics, and further I will be creating a next video with some more advanced topic of this postman application. Okay, so what is postman? So postman is basically an API client, okay, using which like we can create, share, test and document the APIs, web APIs basically. Okay, it's an open source system, so we don't need any key and we don't need any license to like use this system. So basically what we can do, like we can create, save, share, test and document the APIs. So here I'm telling API means like web APIs, microservices. So those kind of API we can like test here in this client. Okay, so basically it's provide an interface, convenient interface, user friendly interface to run those API, understanding the response and understanding the creating the request and like getting the response from the APIs. So what is the like why we use a postman? What are the advantages of using it? So basically accessibility. So like it's an free open source tool, so we don't require any other license or any other paid services to like for using this particular application. And the second thing, like it's an user friendly, and it also provides a user space, like you can create your own account for this and you can like cloud your APIs, your request and response in a cloud. So wherever like required in your current system, in other system, you can like just log in into the application and you can fetch those kind of collections, your collections. Okay, so it provide basically a common platform for accessing and using the request and response and APIs and collections. So use of collections. So basically collection, like if we have a multiple environments, multiple application, multiple APIs, so based on that we can create the collection for our APIs. So that is also an added advantage of this collaboration. So like here we can like use the we can also create the environments, like if we have multiple environments, so based on that we can create the environments variable here and we can use those environments in our local tool, as well as we can export those environments and we can share with our colleagues also. Okay, that is also an advantage. In creation of tests, so like we can create the test cases here as well and we can execute them together, like we don't need any intervention, we can auto run the test cases here and see the results. Okay, so that is also one advantage of it. Automation testing, so the same thing. And debugging, like using this developer is also taking advantage or can take the advantages of this, like we can debug the APIs, we can debug the microservices using this particular application. So continuous integration, continuous deployment, so that we can also do, like we have a API and we are working on this, so continuous continuous testing and implementation we can do using this application. And yes, you see this application also provides the support for the CI/CD. Okay, so let's move ahead. So how we can download this application? So we have the like they have their own uh, API, so they can like this is the URL that we can use and download this particular application. So let me open this. Okay, so we can directly download it here from here. So we have a 64-bit for Windows applications. Okay, so we can download it here from, and we don't need any, like, if we are going to use this application individually, so we don't require any license or any password or any type of uh, pet service. Okay, so we can directly from here, and after downloading, like, we will get a pop-up and we can like configure this application for ourselves. Like we can logging in this application using, whether we can create the separate account or we can just use the Google account, so it will help us in both way. So the same way, like, just download the particular setup, run the setup and install this application in your local system. Sign up for the postman account. So basically, like, we have we either we can provide the like details and email ID and we can create the separate postman account, or if we have a Google account, so we can directly click on the Google account and we can directly, like, it automatically fetch the Google details and it gets automatically logged in into your account. Okay, so both way we can logged in into. And after setting up, so let's see what we can do. So once you like successfully set up your application, it will look like this. Okay, so you can see we have a history tab, we have a collections, we have, this is the API window. So here we can put the API, their type, and we can send the request. We can set the environment variable here. So we may have a multiple environment, so that we can like going to see how we can like use that features. So here you can see, like, I put some numbers here. So based on the numbers, I'm just explaining the next slide, like how what are the importance of each and everything. So the first one is new. Okay, so this is where you will create a new request collection environment. Okay, so basically new is like if you wanted to create a new request, so you can just click on the new, so you will get the option for creating a new request collection or new variable. So based on that you can select and you can just put that detail and you can create the new import. So you can see the second number button here, it's an import button. So if someone is already using the postman, so he can export all the collections and he can just give you the that particular export and you can just import it just by clicking on the import button and selecting that particular XML file, and you would be able to like see all the collections you like get imported. The third thing is runner. So it's basically used for the automation testing. Okay, so if we have some collections created, we have some automation test cases created inside the postman, so we can use the runner for the like running automation. Open new tab. Okay, so basically it's opening a new window for the postman for running the automation test cases. My workspaces. So basically my workspaces is like if you wanted to create the multiple workspaces. Workspace means like if you have some multiple applications or if you have a multiple clients, so based on that you can create the multiple workspaces. Like for in our CRMS, so we can create one workspace for CRMS workspace. If we have a Netflix, we can create second workspace for the Netflix. So based on the workspace, we will be creating a multiple collection. Okay, so like one collection is for development, one collection is for the production, and one collection is for some finance services. So based on that, we can create the multiple collections. Invite means like you can work here in collaboratively. Matlab means it's a you like you can like sync your data on a cloud. Okay, so if you creating some request and you are working with the team, so you could collaboratively work in this workspaces. You can share your workspace, you can share your request. So like if you are creating or your teammate is creating the same APIs, so that will be reflecting to the other team member also if you making it if you creating it like in on a share basis. Okay, So collection. Okay, so where is that? Invite history. So history is basically like if you seventh number, you can see here the history. History means whatever you are like executing here in the API window, so that will be like history getting created automatically. So you can just track the history here. Okay. Collection I already told you, like collection is basically you can create the multiple test suite by creating the collections of folders. Okay, so collection is basically collection of a request. Okay, you may have a multiple get, multiple post, multiple put, delete request. So those you can like based on your requirement. Like if you have some finance things, so you can like separate out it. These are the finance APIs. So I'm creating one collection for the finance. If you have some customer management APIs, so you can create a separate collection for the customer management, and you can put your all customer management related APIs inside that collection. Okay, the ninth number is request tab. So you can see the ninth number is the request tab. So this one, so basically it's a window. Like here you can put the APIs details. Okay, so whatever the URL you have, that you can put here. If the authorizations is required, if the parameters are required, so you all you can put here, and just you can hit the button and the API gets executed, and you would be able to see the response here in the below window. Okay, HTTP request, here is the 10th number. Okay, so HTTP request 10th number you can see here. So basically this 10th number is showing you the type of the request. Like it may be the get, it may be the post, it may be the delete. So all the request type you will be getting here. So you can select your request type based on your requirements. Request URL, so you can see this this one is the request URL 11th number. Okay, so request URL, so whatever the request URL you have, you can just put here. So this is the request URL tab. Save basically if you wanted to save this, firstly you need to just execute this API. If you wanted to save the information of the API for the future uses, you can just click on the save. It will automatically asking you for the collection if you have already existing. Otherwise you can create your new collection and you can save this API inside that collection. So now params means parameters. So if you are hitting the get request, so whatever the parameters are required, that you can put here. Okay, sometimes customer ID is required, sometimes like whatever the parameters are required for your get API, so there are all the parameters you can put here. Authorization, so what type of authorization you are using, that you can select here in the authorization tab. And like you can put the authorization detail. Like sometimes we will require a bearer token, so we can like add authorizations like for the bearer token, and we can use that. Header is the same thing. Like if we have some parameters or headers, so we can put those things inside the headers. Body, so body basically like if you are going to submit something, so, or you wanted to put that you wanted to call the API through the request, you have request JSON, so you can use the body. If you have some XML request, so that you can also use inside the body. So we have a multiple input type for the body. Like it could be the text, XML, JSON. So we can select as per our requirement. Like if the API is requiring JSON type of body, so we can select the JSON. And the body, like if inside the body, if the API is requesting ID or name or country type or any input parameter, so that you can put inside the body. Okay, and the 17 is the request type, like the request type. These are the scripts that will be executed before the request. Okay, so like if before prerequisite request is setting environment are used to ensure the test will be run. Okay, so prerequisites, pre-request means it's kind of a request that will be executing before hitting the API. Okay, so like if we wanted to put some script to set up the environment, so that we can put here. the script executed during the request. Okay, these are the test cases if you wanted to create, so you can put here checkpoint and response status is okay. Okay, so those kind of tests you can put here. Okay, so let me jump into the Postman so that you can quickly understand how it looks like. Cannot see the Postman right now. Sorry, let me open this. So this is the Postman application. So once you download that, you would be able to see this type of application. Okay, so now it's been a little bit update. It's also asking the update, so let me dismiss it right now. Okay, so you can see here this is the like home page for this Postman. There may be like some up and downs, like some windows have been changed. You can see history here. If you click here in home, so you would be having some different kind of look and feel. So basically, once you will be like downloading this Postman, so it will be opening in this way. Okay, so how we can use this? Let me open this. So this way it will look like. Okay, so it will be giving you all your overview, like how many collection you have, how many environments you have, how many variables you have. Basically you can see these are the my collections that I already have created for my personal use or for my some application uses. Okay, so you can see here it's already in a sync, like whatever the data I'm so saving here. If you see the my apps, if I'm saving any data here in my apps, so it will automatically get available to the other team members if this my workspace is shared with my team members. Okay, so while creating the workspace, it will be asking you like what you want to do with this workspace. Either it is your personal workspace or it is it's shared with some other folks also. Okay, so if it is shared with your team, so other team member would also be able to access your requests. Okay, so what we learned that I just wanted to show you one by one. So new import, so you can see this is the new button, like you can just click here new, so you would be having option what you wanted to new create. You wanted to create a new API request, collection, mock server, monitor, workspaces. So based on the requirement you can like create. If you wanted to get new workspace, so it will be asking of further details. So you would be putting your workspace name, how it is like other team members can join, or you just wanted to make it personal, so you just select here the personal, and it will be available only for you. Okay, so I'm not currently creating the workspace. I just guiding you. Second thing is import. So you can see here the import button. So if you're clicking here, it will be asking you to upload the file. Okay, so whenever you are like selecting the file from your system, like if other team members have shared the file with you, so definitely you will be having some physical file, so you can share like some file like will be having with you, so you can just select the file from here. Okay, you will be having some, so just select that file and click on upload, so it will be available as it is. Like if we had created the collections, request, and whatever the details we had created, all detail will be available here. Okay, open now is not important. My workspace that I already shown you, this is the workspace. These are the my workspace that I have created for my personal use. If you wanted to create a new, you can create from here. Invite is nothing, just if you wanted to invite your friends, so just you can invite here from here. Okay. History, I already told you, this is the history tab. So whatever the request you are using, it will automatically showing you. See, all the history is in sync. I am just continuously using multiple requests, so all the requests are showing here. Collection is basically collection, whatever the collection you have created for your business uses and for your based on your requirements, so that collections are getting displayed here. Sorry. Request tab. So request tab is basically, okay, so this is the overview fiscalization. So this is the request tab basically. Okay, so this is the request tab. Okay, so you can see here, like we can select the type here, which type of request we are going to call. Okay, so collection told you request type I told you HTTP request. So these are the HTTP requests, like whether your request is type of get, post, put, patch, delete, copy, whatever the type you can just select here. Content keeping each this request as a get. Okay, so you can select the request type here. Moving ahead, request URL. So if you have some web API URL, you can just put here. Save means if you wanted to save the URL, so you can just put the details here and you click on this particular save button. Okay, so after clicking it, this URL gets saved here. Like if you are saving in this collection, so it will be appearing here in the below after this. Okay, params authorization. So you can see here params, like if you have some options like ID, you can put the ID and ID's value and whatever the types. Okay, so all the parameters you can put here. Authorizations, like what type of authorization you are using for your API, so that you can put here. So basically people are using bearer token, so you can put the bearer token, you can put the bearer space token details here, and you can just you would be able to just access that particular API. Okay, headers, so you can see the headers, some details are here. Okay, if you wanted to add any new header details, so you can just add like a host agent. These are the prerequisite and details here, like it's a JSON type, so it's containing some headers, so you can just put the details here. Body is basically we have this type of bodies for supporting for the APIs. So basically for microservices and web API, we are using JSON type for the body. So we can select the body and the type is raw, and inside the raw not a text, we can select the JSON type. Where is the JSON? We can select HTML, XML based on the requirement, but currently it's a JSON. Okay, so we can just select the body, put the body here, and we can submit for the post request. So it will get like submitted successfully. So this is the pre-request. If any wanted to put any tests in like check before then hitting the API, so that we can put here. Okay, get global variable. You can see here the multiple things are there for creating the values. Test, so basically all auto test is already there, so based on that we can create this test scenarios here. Okay, these are all things for the, these are the overview for the Postman. So what we left, like APIs, so all the API collection is here. Environments, so whatever the environments we created, so we are getting here, like I have created a 3 environment, DS, DT and local. So DS is basically development. It's a kind of, you can say it's a development, it's an staging, and it's an local. Okay, mock services, so we have created any mock service, so that will be getting here available. Like you can use the mock service while like putting the pre request script. Like mock service means like if you wanted to put some variables hard coded here, so using that mock service, like we can just test it whether it is working properly or not. Mock means we are not calling the exactly service, we are mocking that particular service, and this service will be not hitting the actual environment, it will be hitting this particular mock service. Okay, so we can like test in that way, like our service is working properly, or we are able to call the environment services. Like if we have some get user details, so we don't want to fetch the production users, so rather than like picking those production users, we can just create a mock here for that get user details service, and we would be able to like see what type of users we are getting, whether our service is accessing that particular production service or not, that we can check here. So it's kind of mock, it's not running your actual hitting your actual environment, but it's hitting this particular mock service. Okay, that we can monitor if we wanted to see the response speed and time for that particular service, so we can set up a monitor here for that. Okay, so these are all are the things that we can see here inside this window. So I think all things have been captured. This is the setting one, so it is like a simpler what are the settings we wanted to keep. This one is important, like if you wanted to keep your data up to dated with the cloud, so you can make it sync so that it cannot be deleted from your local environment. It can be available throughout your accessible points, like it can be available on your personal system, it can be available on your working system. Okay, so based on that, if it is for you only, if it is not your confidential, or it's not your company or company's data. Okay, so that you can keep here. Okay, let's move ahead. So working with get, so you can see here that we already have told you like this is the request type, this is the request URL, this is the send button. So like we can like putting this when we are hitting this send button, so we are getting this response here in a body, and like you can see here the status is also coming. So for like if it is working properly, so we will be getting 200 status, like it's okay status. So see here the same thing, like we are putting http url, we are clicking on send button, and we are verifying the status. If it is okay, means it is returning a proper response and it's working properly. Okay, post request is the like it was sending. Post is the same, like we are putting some url, we are putting type the post, and we are selecting the body, and inside the body we are creating a new user, so we will need to definitely select the json type here. Okay, so we will need to select the raw, or inside the raw we can select the json, and whatever the json request we have created for that particular request, that we can put here. Okay, and it will get submitted properly. See the json type is selecting, and we will be after submitting this, we will be getting a 201 status. That means user have been created. Oh, sorry. Okay, or it's a submitted successfully kind of. Okay, this one is important. Okay, so if we have some common placeholders, this is a kind of global variable. Okay, if we are putting anything in a double curly braces, so it will mark as a global variable for this postman, and for this global variable we can like assign some values. Okay, so these values would be available throughout the application. Okay, like if we are putting some common url here, like you can see url within the double curly braces, you can see. Okay, so means this url variable have some specified url. Okay, and inside this specified url we are calling the users method. Okay, so we can create the global variable. So basically that provide us the convenience, like we will not require to like put the urls or verify the urls again and again. We can keep this in some common places, and we can use whenever it is required. Okay, so how we can create that, so let me show you how we can create this global variable. This is basically one I would already having some, so let me show you if I have some. So this is the environment that I already have created. It's a DS environment. So environment means we can put let me select this. Okay, so if this one is selected and if I'm selecting this country, no service is there. Oh, I have just created for this particular only. Okay, so see here, everything is good for this. So what we can do, like this is the global variable. Okay, so base API, you can see I have created a base API. This is the URL that I have given for this variable base API. Okay, so why we are selecting the environment here? Like if the DS environment is for the development. Okay, so we have something like psapi.development.com. No, not development.local or development.com. Okay, so that will be considered here the base API. But when we are moving to the staging environment, so like we have definitely be our base API have been changed or base URL have been changed. So it should be kind of like psapi.staging.com. Okay, so in that case, like this base API variable value automatically gets updated. We don't require to update it. So we will need to define this base API variable in the different environments. Okay. See, the country is not, it might be have been like it was available, but currently it's not available because it's not defined inside this DS environment. So let me show you the environments first. So see here, inside this DS environment, I have created this base API variable. Okay, so this base API variable is containing this particular value. See, inside the, if you see this URL, so jd.ds, okay, it's a DS. Okay, it's a DS. You can see here, it's a DS URL. If you go to DT, it's a INS DS1 DS1.jd. Okay, if you go to DT, DT1. If you go to local, the URL have been changed. So basically, what I'm just trying to say, so this variable that I'm showing you are getting changed based on the environment. Okay, these variables are getting changed based on the environments. So we can create the multiple environments, we can create these variable based on the environments, and we can change these value based on the environments. So what are the advantage of using this? Like if we are running any API, like this is the get customer products API, so we don't need to like update this URL again and again. We will be just selecting the environment here, like we are selecting the DT, and we are knowing that base API URL is updated in the base API variable inside the DT environment. This country's value is already updated inside the DT environment, so this URL will automatically get completed, and we are knowing that like these are the static value, only these back value are getting changed for the environments. Like this URL is going to be changed for development, going to be changed for staging, going to be changed for the production. So based on that, we can create the multiple environments and we can use these APIs. Okay, so that is providing us like a convenient way of using these APIs. Like we are not required to update the APIs again, and we are keeping the collection, and we are just getting confused to updating it again and again. Okay, so this is the added advantage of this. So we can create the collection and we can use that. Let's see what are the next things here. So I already explained you like what are the collections, global parameterized collections. Okay, how to create a collection, so that I just wanted to show you. So like this is the plus. Okay, so here you can just clicking this, you can create a new collection. So once you are clicking here, you can see the collection is created, new collection is created. It's a null right now, we don't have any request. So we can give the name if you wanted to rename it, so you can just put the collection name here. Okay, so see the collection is already created here. I'm just closing these so that you can properly understand. So collection is here, but we did not added any request here. Okay, so we can just click here and add request. and the same request tab will get open. If you wanted to put here get user details, get user details, and hit enter. So you see the get user details is all created here. Okay, so what we can do, we can just hit the like put the API. So let me check if I have any API here. I already have run this my local system. Let me see if I have any. Okay, so I have this API, so let me run it and try to hit one API. Okay, so this is my API. I have a multiple APIs here, so we are just going to test with one get API. Okay, so without parameter, we have user controller inside user get user details. Okay, so get user details. This is the structure of my API. This kind of media type it JSON definitely, and let me try it out. Execute. This is the Swagger interface. Okay, if you're not sure about how it is working, how we are implementing, so I already have created a video, long detailed video for this particular Swagger implementation and review. So you can go inside my ASP.dev.api.net core series and you can see that video. That would definitely going to help you a lot, guys. Okay, so see here the API is working properly and we got the response. See, okay, so what the response we got? Like some user details, Subham, Sakshi, Kapoor. Okay, so we have some, these details are coming from the database only. I also have a database created, so I always getting like updating this database details, so that is coming from the database only. So let's try to run this same API through our Postman. How it is behaving here. It may be aligning, it may not be aligning, but let's try it. SSL verification. See the response is coming now. Okay, so this is the okay means the response is coming. 200 means it's executed successfully. This time it was taking, and this was the size of your response. Okay, so for this particular API we got the response, get user details, and these are the same details that we are getting here in Swagger. Okay, so means our Postman is set up and it's working properly for this API. And now what we can do, we can just save it. Okay, so these details are saved here in this API, get user details API, get user details API. Okay, so this is the time it's taking and this is the status. So that what the same we are like telling here. Okay, the collection is created and we already have seen this is post and this is, if you go to get, see 200 means okay, get, and then we are sending, we are getting the response and the status is okay. So the same thing is status, we are getting the okay. Okay, so on the next video I will be trying to show you further things. This was the part 1 and we have explained a lot, so try to implement this thing in your way, guys, and let me know if you having any doubt. Okay, that thing already have explained you. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. See you on the next video, and try to implement this, try to use the Postman. If you face any issue, just ping me in a chat, I will help you out. And on the next video I will be telling you like post API, delete API, as well as like tests and some more things about the Postman. Okay, thank you so much for the watching. See you on the next video.